Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Thursday morning to you from the Par-Mar Store studio. Welcome to the show. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show and 580 Live brought to you in part by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill GM Superstore. If you're looking for a powerful, luxurious, and innovative truck, come check out the new 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LTZ in High Country today. Find new roads at Thornhill GM Superstore. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile US 119 in Chapmanville. We do the show from the Par-Mar Store studio. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Par-Mar and Game Changer presenting the annual Par-Mar Shootout on the campus of West Virginia State University, February the 5th through the 8th. 4 big days, 8 exciting boys and girls basketball games each day. First games tip off at 9:30 a.m. For a complete list of games, visit Par-Mar stores on Facebook or X. And remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Well, it's a day that Reds fans have been waiting on. The Reds Caravan is in town this evening at the Coliseum Convention Center. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. Plus, current Putnam County Clerk and candidate for Secretary of State Brian Wood is on the show today. Jon Hoover, who is running for a judicial slot in Putnam County, is on the show today as well. Plus, your calls and texts are welcome, too. Again, Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. I want to start by welcoming into the show a gentleman making his debut on the show, and he'd like to be your next commissioner in Kanawha County. It's Dewayne Duncan. Dewayne, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Give us the lowdown on Dewayne Duncan. Who are you? Give me your bio, man.
I started out, I grew up in southern West Virginia.
Okay, I got to ask, what part? Where?
Down near Raleigh County,
okay.
Whitesville.
All right, I just got to ask. Logan County boy here.
All right, okay, so yes.
All right.
Somebody in the green room was asking me about my southern accent, where I was from, so they knew I was.
I don't know. I ain't got no southern accent, man. I don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, go ahead.
So, yeah, I grew up down there in the southern coal fields. And then in 1990, I came to Charleston, went to the University of Charleston, and then proceeded to go to Marshall to get a master's degree.
Okay, so, and what was your field of study, if you don't mind my asking?
Field of study, biology degree from University of Charleston, and then I went to Marshall to do education, to have an education degree. So that's what I have. A master's in special education and school administration.
Okay, and so are you an educator, or what is it that you do in real life?
In real life. I mean, I was currently in a past life an educator, a principal, worked at the State Department of Education, but now I do real estate development.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing now.
So why do you want to be a Kanawha County Commissioner?
I feel like right now is a really good time to be the commissioner. I know Commissioner Salango, I know Commissioner Wheeler, and I just feel like I'd be the third who could really move things along, work with them in conjunction to get some things going in Kanawha County.
We don't know at this point what the current holder of the one that's up this time, Kent Carper, is going to do. But, I have not heard. I've heard he is going to run, not going to run. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to get into all that because I want to talk about you. Yeah. What do you see the biggest needs being in Kanawha County, Dewayne?
Do you know, I think one of the biggest issues that we have in Kanawha County is what are we doing to, have families move to Kanawha County, and then what are we doing to retain those families in Kanawha County? And I that's one of the things I'd like to see us try to do is field that question, figure it out, see what we could do better for families to attract people. Because we have a lot of resources here. We have wonderful schools. We have colleges, institutions that are just right here in our back door practically. We have a thriving business downtown, the community. Not that we don't need more, because I do believe we do need some more, definitely. So I'd like to work on that kind of real estate development opportunity, use my expertise in real estate and real estate development.
And you kind of touched on this a little bit. There has been quite a bit of growth here in the Kanawha Valley over the last couple of years from job development and creation. We are seeing, and I'm talking about the valley as a whole, not just downtown Charleston.
Yes.
Sports tourism with the Shawnee Sports Complex, this proposed Capital Sports Center. So we've had these good things going on. So how do we continue to make these things happen in this area and get more of it? Because as you said, we need more of it.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I do believe, we're doing a really good job. I think people are starting to take a look at like what we can offer people, and I think our recreation is a huge thing. We are in the mountain state. We have beautiful surroundings. I think taking advantage of that. I think we saw a lot of success with Shawnee Park. I think that demonstrated that, if you build it, they will come. I'm in support of the Capitol complex that's going to be downtown. I think there's something desperately needed in that area to kind of spur and spark and regenerate that area, since we have that situation with the mall that you might be aware of.
Yeah, I've heard.
Just briefly.
I've heard. We're talking to Dewayne Duncan again, who is a candidate for county commission here in Kanawha. Republican or Democrat?
Republican.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes I fail to ask that, and somebody will text me and say, is this Republican?
I'm totally Republican, pro-life, conservative.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So we talked a little bit about the business growth and things of that nature, but as you know, Kanawha is the biggest county in the state. There's a whole lot more out there than in here, and what I mean by that is you got a whole lot of rural areas and things like that. What do we do for those people? I mean, because we have issues with flooding continuously in certain areas, and you've been around a while. You know all about it.
Yeah.
How do we help the areas outside what we think of as Charleston proper, so to speak?
Here's what I've started to do. I have started already the conversations with mayors in cities and towns on the outskirts of Charleston, realizing that they're as important. They're a part of Kanawha County. And really, if you think about it, you take a town like Clendenin and you just see how quaint it is. I don't know if you've ever visited.
Oh, yeah. Many times.
When I go through Clendenin and I visit and I go have an ice cream up there at the little ice cream shop,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are craving this kind of life. I mean, there are people in cities who love to come out to these quaint towns, relax, hang out, kayak down the river, things like that. I think we've got to meet. I have started meeting with mayors, meeting with city leaders, champions in their communities. I want to figure out who they are, identify them, and really try to identify young entrepreneurs. And the key would be young entrepreneurs, because we're all getting a little bit older. So we need to spur some excitement with our youth, because, my generation, I'll be 52 soon. So, once our generation gets to a certain age, we need youth to back that up. And that's what I've been doing, trying to spur real estate in Charleston, backing people, helping people get started in business. So.
And there have been, a lot of studies that have been done about just what you mentioned about West Virginia as a whole, not just Kanawha County being a place where people may want to come now that people, COVID showed us that people can work remotely, and they're craving the things that we already have here in all of West Virginia, from the streams to the mountains, things that people like you and I may have taken for granted all these years. They want that.
I was going to say, Dave, I have friends who come from all over the country, all over the world to visit me in my little slice of heaven over on Davis Creek. I have a little farm over there, 32 acres, and I am telling you, without fail, every time they come to visit me, they are very envious. They're envious. They hate to go back to their city lives or another country. They love West Virginia. Doctors that I talk to who are from Dubai and places, they come here, they love this place. They love if you think about it, you can live, it's easy to live here. I've always said I've really not met people who are not unkind. We're a kind group of people here in Kanawha County, West Virginians anyway, but here in Kanawha County in particular, I've always felt welcome. So.
How do we go about marketing this area to other areas? That's a big. I know that the county commissioners we have now, I think, do a pretty good job, but we got to do even better than what they do. I'm not throwing off on them. I think
they're doing a great job. They really are.
They do a great job of marketing this area. But how do we get people from those areas you mentioned interested in Kanawha County? Because there's a lot of growth going on around the state of West Virginia right now, but a lot of it seems like it's going up north. It's going to Morgantown and places like that. How do we get these people in Kanawha Valley?
Do you know what I think? I think we do. We're good. We can't let it be a kept secret anymore. I do believe we could be. I believe we should be in Kanawha County. Probably, I think we should be, in my opinion, the most viable county in the state. And I think we should be. I think we have all the elements here. I think it's just. I think a key to that, Dave, is reaching out to these community leaders, meeting with community leaders, listening to them, actually listening, developing plans, and then acting on those plans to make this happen. Look for resources for them, figure out what they can do, what they can't do, what they need. And I don't know that the current commission's doing that. That's just something, that's the way I operate, listening and then helping people connect the dots.
Dewayne Duncan is with us. He's a Republican candidate for County Commission. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you in part by Bridge Valley. Are you interested in improving your company's IT workforce? Well, did you know that Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap? At Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match. Bridge Valley can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships for more information. Where can people learn more about your campaign? You got a website? You got social media? What do you got?
We're getting all of that up and running. I just announced my candidacy a few days ago, so that will all be forthcoming. Stick around because I'll be in your community soon, starting next week.
All right. Yeah. Well, Dewayne, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I'm going to give you final 30 seconds, uninterrupted. Why should people vote for Dewayne Duncan for Kanawha County Commission?
I think if people in Kanawha County are ready to have someone who's not a career politician, who's ready to sit down with them, help them tackle the issues. Dave, we've got to start thinking about families, hardworking families in Kanawha County, what their struggles are, what they're going through as a teacher, as an educator, as a public servant. I've seen that. So we've got to help them with all of those things so that they can focus on the things like growth in their community. We've got to help them with their personal lives. So that's what I'm going to focus on the people, like just focus on people, focus on making their lives better, reducing taxes, anything we can do to help alleviate the stress and the financial burdens on families in Kanawha County. I think we have to do it.
Dewayne Duncan, again, Republican candidate for County Commission. I appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for being here. Good luck out on the campaign trail. Probably got a lot of doors to knock on and things of that nature. You got to get out there and do all that.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll have you back on sometime before the election. I appreciate it.
Sounds great. I appreciate you very much.
It is 9:19. We'll be back right after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
It's obvious. The unthinkable continues. Most Americans know something very wrong is happening. People in charge keep telling you that everything's fine and to stop noticing. But you know better. That's why self-reliant folks are investing in emergency food storage. You should too. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, are the ones you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Save $200 on each 3-month food kit you purchase. My Patriot Supply also sells solar generators, gravity-powered water filters, off-grid room heaters for when the power goes out, heirloom seeds, and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your items ship that same day and arrive quickly on your doorstep in unmarked boxes. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. Time is running out to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. You hear us say that a lot, but it's true. Wherever you may go, chances are you'll find a Par-Mar store there, offering everything you need to get you in and then back on the road as soon as possible. From gas to groceries and snacks and items for your house, we have it at Par-Mar stores. Download the app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card too. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. $9:21, Dave Allen Show and 580 Live, brought to you by Hudson's Pizza. This month at your favorite Hudson's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and an order of appetizer meatballs, only $24.99. Dine in, delivery, or pickup. Visit Hudson'sPizza.com for details. Got Jon Hoover standing by, who's wants to be a judge in Putnam County. We'll talk to him in a couple of moments. Text is a Republican with a master's degree and history of employment with the education system. ? The Republican voting base is going to think he's a Democrat plant, says the texter. Texter says it's ironic listening to Republicans waxing poetic about rivers and streams and the hills and the trees, but then go on to criticize and defund the EPA and its policies, which have cleaned up the rivers and streams and protected the hills and trees, says a texter. Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Coming up a little bit later on the show, Putnam County Clerk and candidate for Secretary of State Brian Wood will be stopping by. Plus, the Reds Caravan is this evening at the Coliseum Convention Center. We'll spend a little time talking about that. Jon Hoover is here, candidate for Putnam County Circuit Court Judge. He joins us now. Jon, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thanks for having me this morning.
Thank you for being here. Give us the background on Jon. Who's Jon Hoover?
Okay, many people in Putnam County know who I am, but lifelong resident of Putnam County. I was a young blonde-haired boy that grew up in Woodland Forest over in Winfield. Graduated from Winfield High School and went off to the Army, served in the U.S. Army JAG Corps for a couple of years.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
I appreciate that. And then returned back to West Virginia to practice law and raise my family in Hurricane, West Virginia.
All right. So you're, unlike a lot of people that live in Putnam County like myself, you're actually from there.
actually from there, played sports at Winfield High School. I've lived in various parts of the county, know the county from Bancroft to Hurricane to Nitro to Buffalo. So I know the county very well.
The thing about Putnam County, what I always say is that, and I guess this is true of a lot of counties, I've lived there for 10 years now, people have a tendency to think that Putnam County is Tays Valley, which is where I live. And it is. That's a big part of it. But there's a lot of Bancrofts. There's a lot of Red Houses. There's a lot of Fraser's Bottom and a lot of other places in there as well.
That's correct. And, you know, I view Putnam County as the most idyllic county in the state of West Virginia, and I base that on the fact that I've litigated cases throughout the state of West Virginia. And it always dawns on me that Putnam County in all areas, whether it's socioeconomic or judicial, we set the standard for this state. And it is just an idyllic place to live. It has always been an idyllic place to live, regardless of whether you live north of the river or south of the river. And I want to serve Putnam County in the same capacity as I did in the U.S. JAG Corps as the next circuit court judge for Division I.
I want to talk about that. So why make this decision at this point in your life to be the circuit judge of Putnam County?
Well, we talked earlier, and this has been a dream of mine ever since I had a conversation with former Judge Hobby Spalding. And Judge Spalding really pushed me into the profession of law. And I saw the type of judge that he was. And as I've litigated cases throughout the state of West Virginia, and including Putnam County, I would love to bring his standards back to Putnam County as their circuit court judge. And I believe that I'm at a time in my career with my experience and in all facets of the law, whether it be civil, criminal, abuse, neglect, or juvenile, to serve Putnam County in that capacity.
I know you just officially signed up to run, but what are the plans for the campaign strategy? Because I talked to a lot of judicial candidates here. I've had a few on this week, as a matter of fact, that are going to be serving in one way or the other in the court system. And it's not like your traditional campaigns. You know, you can't really go out and trash opponents and things, or, you know, at least you're not supposed to, things like that. So what's the campaign strategy? I mean, a lot of people already know you, but there's some that don't.
Yeah, there's some that don't. And really what I'm going to do and what my focus is what's my vision for Putnam County and what's the vision that I have in contrast to what currently exists. There's going to be a lot of door-to-door. Unfortunately, I have a face for radio, so I think a lot of people in Putnam County are going to get to know me and experience me firsthand. But we're going to walk it. I'm going to earn every vote north of the river, south of the river, by meeting people individually at their homes, at civic events, things of that nature. And also there'll be a heavy social media presence. I mean, that's the current time that we live in. I'm a lifelong Republican. I have been. I'm unabashedly a Republican. I didn't just simply change parties to run in this race. I am proud of my Republican values, but I also think that my vision for the circuit court is attractive to everyone, regardless of political perspective on the spectrum. We're going to have a consistently hardworking circuit court as the judge. I am going to hand down the maximum penalty for any crime in Putnam County that is allowable by law. Obviously, we have pre-sentencing reporting and things of that nature, but I can tell you, it will quickly be known that if you commit a crime in Putnam County and Mr. Hoover is your judge, you can expect the maximum criminal penalty allowable by law.
What other changes, if any, would you bring to the circuit court system in Putnam
I think
County?
the biggest change that I can bring is I'm going to work. I think circuit courts should be accountable to the citizens of the county. And what I mean by that is if you show up on a Monday or a Friday, whether it's in the AM or the PM, you can expect that I'm going to be on the bench and that I'm going to be effectively administrating justice. The problems that we have now, and it's not just in Putnam County, but also statewide, is we have very slow court dockets. And I don't understand that. I abhor continuances. And we have far too many continuances in civil cases. We have far too many continuances in criminal cases. And that's just not going to happen with me. The Supreme Court promulgated time standards for both criminal cases and civil cases. The rules and the laws are already on the books. We just need to effectively administrate them. And that's going to happen under me. We're not going to have, anecdotally, I've heard from people all over the county, and it's always, well, my case took too long, or there was a continuance, or this order wasn't entered in an appropriate time. That simply isn't going to happen with me as your circuit court judge.
Talking to Jon Hoover again, who is a candidate for circuit court judge of Putnam County. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. Brought to you in part by Meeks Realty Group. As a locally owned real estate powerhouse, they specialize in residential and commercial properties. No property too big or too small for Meeks. With their team of the finest realtors in the business, Meeks Realty Group is your trusted partner in finding your dream home or your dream commercial investment. Call them today, 304-440-1101, or visit meeks.us. John, what are some of the biggest challenges facing the court system these days? I don't necessarily mean a Putnam County, but I mean just the court system in America in general. What are some of the biggest challenges?
You know, I get this question quite a bit from individuals and during meetings with businesses, and I think the biggest challenge goes back to what I just said. We have a court system that is bogged down with litigation. When I first started litigating cases, you had an expectation that you could have the case litigated, and I'm speaking in a civil context, you had an expectation that that case would be resolved within 12 to 14 months. I just said in a scheduling conference, and I'm not going to identify the circuit court, but I just said in a scheduling conference just yesterday, and the first available date for trial was 2026. Now, we just entered 2024, and it's disheartening for me to have to go back and tell my client, you're going to have to wait 2 years, maybe. Mm-hmm. It could go even longer.
And what goes on in their life during that 2 years?
Exactly. That's the biggest issue that I have is, and I'll put it in the context of a civil case. If you're a victim and you're in a PI auto case, there are going to be litigation costs that accumulate. Well, those costs are passed on, hopefully, to the victim in a settlement or a favorable trial verdict. Well, the costs are going to be de minimis if we handle that case within 12 to 14 months. But they exponentially get higher and higher with each continuance and each year of delay, to the point where that's less money in the victim's pocket. It's less money. It costs more to litigate the cases for both parties, and that has an economic impact throughout the counties. And we have major issues with bogged down court dockets, and I firmly believe that if we return to just administrating the time standards that the Supreme Court has handed down to us, we could rectify that. And interestingly, I echoed Hobby Spalding earlier, and he's my model and my standard. You didn't get a continuance in Hobby's court. You knew going into the scheduling conference, there's not going to be a continuance. There simply isn't going to be a continuance outside of the death in a family or something of that nature. It wasn't going to happen. And that's the type of court that I'm going to administer.
We'll talk to you about drugs. Sure. Obviously, drugs are a scourge. We all know that. I don't know if the situation is getting any better. It just seems it doesn't get better. It's just the products change. You know, back in the day, it was pills, especially in certain areas of the state worse than others, and it was heroin, and it was fentanyl, and that's kind of where we are right now. How do we, as a judge, a little late, you can't do a whole lot to prevent people from using drugs, but as a judge, how do you handle the drug crisis?
Well, tangentially, like I said earlier, if you commit a crime in Putnam County, you can expect the harshest, most maximum penalty allowable by the statute, and that's how I'm going to attack the drug problem. We've seen a commensurate rise in drug use throughout West Virginia and nationally, with also a commensurate rise in alternative sentencing directives and initiatives to try to handle drug-related offenses. You're probably familiar with drug courts and things of that nature, and I know your listeners are as well. Well, we're seeing recidivism rates of 70 to 80% in those programs. Those programs have been around for quite some time, maybe 4 to 5 to 6 years. That tells me, as just an average Joe, those programs aren't working. And I think we probably need to return to, let's administrate this problem through the criminal process. Like I said before, I think if you as a community have a reputation that you're just not going to put up with that type of conduct and that you're going to penalize it criminally through both aggressive prosecution and the administration of swift, effective criminal sentencing, it'll have a much deeper impact on the drug problem than what we're currently experiencing today.
John, where can people learn more about your campaign?
Oh, I would love for them to go to hooverforjudge.com. That's our website. It's went live, and we're going to continue to tweak that, but you can go there and learn my 5 points of that I'm going to advocate throughout this campaign. And you can also go on our Facebook page to Jon Hoover for Putnam County Circuit Court Judge, and you'll see the same 5-point plan that I have for Putnam County, and I'm really excited to share that door to door and at all the civic events that I can.
Give me 30 seconds, uninterrupted by me. Why should someone vote for Jon Hoover for Putnam County Circuit Court Judge?
I'm a Putnam native. I have lived in the county. I currently live in the county, and I'm raising my children. I want to serve you. I want to serve you because my family, my friends, my business partners live in the county. We have an ability to have the best circuit court system in the state of West Virginia if we administer the court in a timely and efficient way with maximum criminal penalties and also addressing the backlogged abuse and neglect in juvenile cases with swift, hardworking judge. And that's why I'm running.
John, we wish you, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. We wish you the best of luck with the campaign, out there campaigning, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Okay, I'd love to come back, and thank you for being so gracious, and I'm very appreciative for the opportunity.
Jon Hoover, again, a candidate for Putnam Circuit Court Judge. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Whether you're replacing a roof, remodeling a kitchen, or replacing a bathroom, to keep it safe and keep it legal, get with Pinnacle Consultants. They can inspect your site, collect samples, perform lab analysis, and provide results within about a week. Testing all renovations for mold, asbestos, and lead is the law in West Virginia. Visit pinnaclecorp.net for Pinnacle Consultants, because what you don't know can hurt you. We're going to take a break. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Staying in Putnam County, Brian Wood is the Putnam County Clerk, and he's also a candidate for Secretary of State. We'll talk to him next on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses bring first-class businesses to your community.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Ready for a different banking experience? Become a member at Members Choice West Virginia Federal Credit Union and learn what it means to be a part of the credit union movement.
MCWV is a not-for-profit organization with a mission to provide quality financial products and services, low loan rates and terms, and accounts to fit your unique needs.
As a member, you're also an owner of the credit union with voting rights, dividends, and are a part of the support given to our community.
Become a member today at 201 Ohio Avenue in Charleston or online at memberschoicewv.com. Restrictions may apply.
Member of the NCUA.
Hello, I am Judge Stephanie Abraham, and I am running for Circuit Court here in Kanawha County.
Judge Stephanie Abraham was appointed to the Circuit Court by Governor Jim Justice. Judge Stephanie Abraham owned and managed her own law firm and was an attorney for the Department of Education and General Counsel for the State Board of Education. Judge Stephanie Abraham is a fair and balanced but tough judge who will always follow the Constitution to protect liberty and achieve justice for all.
I am Judge Stephanie Abraham. I appreciate your vote for Kanawha County Circuit Court.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Stephanie Abraham.
24 minutes away from 10 from the Par-Mar Store studio. Ryan Nichols, our producer today. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. Brought to you in part by your local insurance experts from Brightway, the Maze Agency of Tays Valley. From your home to your car, even to your pet, Brightway, the Maze Agency, will customize the perfect insurance plan for you. At Brightway, the Maze Agency, they're just agents of your friends and neighbors. Call John and Sherry Maze today, 304-814-2509, or visit brightwaymaze.com. Text says, don't trust a partisan hack who turns a nonpartisan race for judge into a partisan affair. Text says, I find it hilarious that these lifelong Republicans running for circuit judge don't tell you they are lifelong plaintiffs' attorneys that have made a living suing businesses. When Jon Hoover shows up at your door, ask for a list of the businesses he has sued. Text says, justice delayed is justice denied. Far too many courts forget this principle. Let's bring in Brian Wood, Putnam County Clerk, candidate for West Virginia Secretary of State. Brian, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for being. It's like a Putnam County theme today, man. We just had somebody that's running for judge on a couple of moments ago, and now we got you running out of Putnam County, running for Secretary of State.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
It's official. It's official. I finally got to get up to Charleston and do it yesterday. I was going to do it today. The baby dog showed up and signed up Trump and all that, and I thought, well, I'm going to get lost in the crowd there, and then the snow hit, and we got plenty of work here at the office, getting ready to prepare for the upcoming election.
So, yeah, that was actually going to be my next point. You announced on this show a long time ago that you would be running for Secretary of State. You've been serving as Putnam County Clerk for some time, and now you have made it official. How many terms have you served as Clerk of Putnam County, Brian?
I'm currently in my fourth term as County Clerk for Putnam County. I had 2 terms as magistrate prior to that, but yeah, 4 terms as County Clerk.
I think that I think it's kind of interesting. I was thinking about this last night, Brian. All the people that you've seen that have walked into your office at the courthouse to sign on the dotted line to run for office, now yourself are signing or have signed to run at the state capitol. That's got to be kind of different for you.
Yes, sir. It's the first time doing that. If you'd have told me 2 years ago that I'd be up at the Capitol signing up to run for Secretary of State, I told you were crazy. But, just looking at it, looking at the candidates and the different people that I thought may run, I feel like my experience, 20 years of managing elections here at the county level, working with poll workers, working with my team, there's no candidate in the race that can compare to my experience when it comes to managing a public office with different departments, with employees as elected officer who has to answer to the people, and I've answered to people time and time again. I'm proud of the work we do here in Putnam County, and I'm blessed to work for the people of Putnam County. But I just feel that people of West Virginia deserve somebody that's politics is only there to because it's a part of the process. I'm here for the work. I've already pledged that I'm not going to be running for any higher offices than Secretary of State. I want to do it because I feel I've got the knowledge to move the office forward and in a good direction, and basically keep the wheels on the bus and hit the ground running from day one.
It was a crowded field, at least it was at one time. It's still somewhat crowded compared to some of the other races for Secretary of State of the state of West Virginia. Brian, on the Republican side, we know already earlier this week one person dropped out of the race, that being Delegate Chris Pritt. He announced on this show Monday that he would no longer be seeking the office of Secretary of State, but would attempt instead to run for state Senate. Now, that leaves former legislator Ken Reed, Chris Warner, who is the brother of current Secretary of State Mackwater, and former House Minority Leader Doug Scaff in the race for Secretary. Important to note, though, that all candidates have until midnight Saturday to file, so there may be more that jump in. Of those people that I mentioned, Brian, I don't expect you to trash anybody or anything like that, but of the people I mentioned, you feel pretty confidently, though, that you are the one for the job. Talk about that.
I believe they're all good people. There's some that I know better than others. For me, it's not politics first. I'm not part of the the Charleston in crowd. I'm not your typical statewide candidate. I live paycheck to paycheck. My wife and I work hard just to buy the prom dresses for my junior in high school and provide for our kids. And when the gas prices go up, I feel in my budget just the same way as most West Virginians do. But I also feel like, it doesn't always have to be the same old, and the same people that's in the circle getting elected to these state offices. And if there was ever a chance for the people of West Virginia to have somebody that's not in the inner circle or inner clique that knows the job, I can't think of any other job in the world that mimics the Secretary of State other than a county clerk, because the Secretary of State, multiple divisions, county clerk, multiple divisions. We both work with elections. I'll know just through my knowledge of 20 years of managing elections here, when people come to me with suggestions or problems or different things like that, I'll know the nuts and bolts of it to make a good decision or to talk with them about it in a sensible manner, rather than having to learn it, the first 2 years and then run for office the second 2 years. It's about the work for me first, and then politics is just part of the process.
18 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. From kitchens to paints to decks, straight framing wood, roofing metal, and anything else you may need, you'll find it at General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Now, Brian, I know you've already spent a lot of time out on the campaign trail. What have you heard when you've been out talking to people around the state of West Virginia so far about the Secretary of State's office and about the race?
Well, people love my story. They love the fact that I put my pants on just like they do. They love the fact that I'm humble in that I'm not owed anything, but I still have the passion to serve. They like the fact that of the experience aspect of it, and they like the fact that, hey, it's a different choice. We don't have to keep on same old. I've been to more fairs, carnivals, parades, and dinners than all three of the opponents combined right now. And I knew that I was going to have to get out on the road early and work on that, because I wouldn't have the self-financing aspect of it, or the infrastructure that's built through the politics standpoint. I've got to rely on the people in the little white houses that go to work every day, to grassroots, to tell other people. I got to rely on other county officials to tell people about me. I'm the only one that somebody could call somebody in Putnam County and say, "Hey, how's Brian do down there? Is he a good clerk? Is his office responsive? Has he, how does he perform?" I've got the resume, and I've got the references that people could call and check on me. The others, they don't necessarily have that. They've always been in private business. They've always been hidden behind layers of bureaucracy, and there's no accountability. If I mess up election, it's going to be on front page of the paper, and everybody knows it. If I'm not a good local candidate here, I wouldn't be in office for as long as I've been. And so I just, hopefully I'm not coming off as being harsh to the other candidates or anything like that. But I'm not going to minimize what I have to offer to the people of West Virginia. And I hope that the people of West Virginia would appreciate it and give me the opportunity to work for them. And I would appreciate their support and their vote. And please talk to their friends and family and say, "Hey, let's give this guy a try."
Before we let you go, tell us about Brian Wood, the guy. I mean, we know that you've been a 4-term Putnam County Clerk. You were a magistrate before that, but personally, just talk about your personal life a little bit. Who is Brian Wood?
Well, I'm a faith-based person. I'm a lifelong West Virginian. I'm a lifelong Republican. I've been married for 22 years to my lovely wife, Beth. and super proud of her. She's my best cheerleader, and I love her to death. I've got 2 wonderful kids. I've got one that's a junior at Winfield High School, and she's in love for the first time. So trying to get used to that, yeah, and trying to swallow the cost of the prom dresses and different things like that. And then I got a son that's at Fort Eisenhower right now. He's getting ready to graduate next week, so we're excited about going down there and seeing him graduate and come back and see what life has to hold for him. So I'm extremely proud of him as well. I had served as the president of the County Clerks Association. I'm the immediate past president of the County Clerks Association. So I've got good relationships with the county clerks throughout the whole state, and I know what their needs are. I know what they're when they're hurting, I know they're hurting, and when they're doing well, I know they're doing well, and so I got that good communication. The elections work through the clerks and then down to and run downhill to the citizens through the poll workers throughout the state. And so I've got that rapport there. I also serve as a board member of the West Virginia Association of Counties. I'm on the West Virginia Have a Grant Board, which is basically divvies up federal money to help support local elections. I'm a member of the Elections Assistance Commission for the state of West Virginia, the local representative for the state of West Virginia Elections Assistance Commission. And there's 2 representatives. There's one on the state level and then one on the county level, and I'm that. I'm just proud of what I offered the people of West Virginia, or Putnam County, and I don't know. I'm excited about the opportunity to run. I know it's going to be hard. It's probably going to be hard. I feel like I'm running with one arm tied behind my back because I will not give up the attention to detail here in Putnam County when managing this primary election because the people of Putnam County deserve that. So we're going to make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's here in Putnam County, but we're also going to give the people of West Virginia a chance to vote for somebody that can hit the ground running from day one.
Well, Brian, I wish you the best of luck. I know you got a lot of work to do out on the campaign trail, and you got to get back to your regular job right now as a Putnam County Clerk. Best of luck to you, my friend, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Can we get some dates out if you don't care?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. So, one thing, you can visit my website, wood4wv.com. So wood, the number 4wv.com, if you want to learn a little more about me. With some dates. So right now we're in candidate filing. On the local level, by law, the county clerks will be open from 9 to noon, but the Secretary of State's office is open until midnight, I believe. The absentee ballot applications are open now from now until May 8th. Voter registration deadline is April 23rd. The early voting will be May 1st through May 11th. So early voting May 1st through May 11th. And Election Day is May 14th. And then we'll canvass the elections on May 20th.
All right. And I know you normally have a complete list of all those available on the website. I'm talking about the Putnam County website, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Brian, best of luck, man. We'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
All right. You have a great day, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you.
All right. Thanks a lot again. Brian Wood, the County Clerk of Putnam County and a candidate for West Virginia Secretary of State. Phone calls to the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, a service of Biggly Piggly Wiggly. When shopping at your Biggly Piggly Wiggly, be sure to join their loyalty program. You can save big at the gas pumps and throughout the store with their electronic coupons and free gifts on Fridays just for stopping by. From farm to table, Biggly Piggly Wiggly, the best kept secret in Charleston. And text to the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, a service of Fruth Pharmacy. Find the perfect over-the-counter hearing aid at Fruth with Nuvo Med Hearing Aids Plus. Fruth makes it easier to transfer your prescription services to them. Fruth is your hometown family pharmacy and has been for 71 years. 951, West Virginia Enriched in collaboration with Huntington invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. Take a few minutes to be inspired and join the collective effort in making a difference. Not just a story, it's a movement of hope, inclusivity, and triumph, reminding us all that every individual deserves a chance to shine. In West Virginia and beyond, Huntington is truly making a difference right here at home. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580WCHS. The Reds Caravan in town tonight at the Coliseum Convention Center. Dale Cooper is going to join us to talk about it next on The Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for shopping locally.
We are professional grade. Are you looking for a new truck or SUV that can handle any terrain or challenge? Then you need to visit Thornhill GM Superstore on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Right now, you can get a $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle on the new GMC Sierra 1500. Or shop Thornhill's great selection of GMC terrain. You can enjoy 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers on the small SUV that offers GMC Pro Safety Plus. Plus, you'll get a $500 purchase allowance and no payments for 90 days. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119, Chapmanville. So 5 Financial, see Thornhill for all details.
Nearly every day, there's a company announcing new jobs in West Virginia. Thanks to the leadership of State Senator Eric Nelson, West Virginia's economy is growing and our future looks bright. Senator Eric Nelson has been part of the team advancing important pro-growth policies. And because Senator Eric Nelson has helped control government spending, West Virginians are receiving the biggest tax cut in our state's history. Vote for more jobs. Vote for lower taxes. Vote for State Senator Eric Nelson. Paid for by the committee to elect Eric Nelson.
Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street has served 3 generations of shoppers since 1955 as the largest locally owned independent grocery store in the area. The Joseph family owners grew up here, so you know they're invested in the community. They provide the biggest variety of choice meats, the freshest produce, an in-house deli bakery, great wine selection, and more of your favorite brands. Every purchase gives you gasoline points so you can save at our pumps. Order online for pickup at BigleyPigglyWiggly.com. Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street. No one beats the pig.
Hello, I am Judge Stephanie Abraham, and I am running for Circuit Court here in Kanawha County.
Judge Stephanie Abraham was appointed to the Circuit Court by Governor Jim Justice. Judge Stephanie Abraham owned and managed her own law firm and was an attorney for the Department of Education and General Counsel for the State Board of Education. Judge Stephanie Abraham is a fair and balanced but tough judge who will always follow the Constitution to protect liberty and achieve justice for all.
I am Judge Stephanie Abraham. I appreciate your vote for Kanawha County Circuit Court.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Stephanie Abraham.
Seven minutes away from Tampa. Dave Allen Show on 580 Line, brought to you part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy West Virginia tackles pressing health issues like heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and RSV. This podcast offers insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians, aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond West Virginia. It's a valuable resource for all. Discover the latest episodes of at WVMetronews.com under the podcast menu and start your journey towards better health today. Text says Brian Wood is the most knowledgeable person in the race. Put him in a debate with the other candidates, and he would blow them away. Brian Wood is a hard worker and is a good man. Text says any day you could tune in to the show and hear I'm the only one, I'm the most qualified, I'm the most conservative, I'm a lifelong blah, blah, blah. There's definitely a lack of originality among Republican candidates, says the texter. I'll be back at the Capitol 10:06 with Talk Line. Brad will be there from the AARP Broadcast Center, also Senator Patricia Rucker and more. Talk Line with Hoppy Kirchville, 10:06 from the belly of the beast, the Capitol. Let me get this in real quick. The giant potholes are back again, particularly 64 East at the Nitro entryway. I saw cars lined up like 5 or more this morning, all with busted tires on my drive in around 7:15 or so this morning. So be careful when traveling in that area, because next up will be the Band-Aid repair, which you know what that means. That means we put a little Band-Aid on it, and then that snarls up traffic again. Then we have the next snow, which causes more potholes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, with more than $20 billion recovered. They believe that when you're injured, you deserve more. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Coliseum Convention Center, the place to be tonight. Dale Cooper is with us. The Reds Caravan, man. It's back.
Yeah, man. Always look forward to this. You and I did this last year and had a good time. Had a few technical difficulties last year, and so this year we've gotten ahead of the the queue a little bit, and so we're going to be over there set up at the appropriate location and everything. So it's going to be a great broadcast tonight. Jeff Jenkins will be over there hosting the thing. You're going to be over there as well. The Reds are coming to town. They had a couple of changes. I want to get these out real fast. Yeah. Not too bad of one. Cam Collier is no longer coming. He's a minor league prospect for the Reds, but he's being replaced by Julian Aguilar, who is one of the Reds. He was their pitcher of the year last year in the minor league, so he's a bona fide prospect, so he's going to be coming to town instead. And also, for those of you that care about the executive, Sean Pender is going to be here. He's the senior advisor to the president of baseball operations instead of Sam Grossman, the president of baseball operations. So
and Benzinger's there too.
Yeah, Todd Benzinger's still coming.
I'm
He's going to be
excited
here.
about that.
You know, Brian Bradley, who works with us, and he's a super Reds fan.
Mr. Reds.
Mr. Reds. Wolfie, a lot of people knew him when he was mascot work for us. He does all the Reds events with us, but he was kind of grumbling to me last night. Benzinger's going to be here with the Caravan, and one of the last fan events that Brian attended, he paid for the autograph, and autographs tonight, of course, are free.
Yeah.
So
the whole thing's free, by the way.
Exactly, the whole thing's free. You can just show up. Obviously, we're going to be on air. It's going to start at 6:00. The festivities start over there at 5:30, but we won't miss anything all that important before we go on air at 6. We'll carry the Q&A, and then Jeff will have exclusive interviews with each of the folks who are going to come by. You can go over there though at 5:30 or before then and meet some of the players, shake some hands, get to know some of the folks with the Reds, and then participate in the Q&A. Say hi to Dave and Jeff while you're over there too.
We'll be over there. All right, Coop, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Reds Caravan again starts at 5:30. We'll be live from there starting at 6. It's free, an opportunity for you to come hang out with the Reds tonight over at the Coliseum Convention Center. All right, I got to get this in because I'm way short on time here. Yesterday at the Capitol, I was on the air while the public hearing was going on HB 4654 that would make institutions such as schools, museums, and libraries criminally liable for displaying so-called obscene material. Now, if it passes, those institutions that I mentioned could be subject to prosecution for the distribution and for the display of so-called, again, obscene materials to minors. Now, I went back later, though, and watched the public comment section. And, oh, my. I have seen a lot in my time, not only in the media and the radio business, but also being around the world of politics as I have. And I don't know that I've ever heard phrases like blank eating and blank plugs, et cetera, on the chamber floor. And let me just close. Let me just say this. I am all for keeping these items away from kids, but at the expense of possibly fining or jailing the already grossly underpaid library staffs. And by the way, for the grandmas that spoke and the other people, I applaud you for getting out there and speaking your mind and being a part of the process. But you do know that your kid can literally access anything on that iPhone or tablet that sadly a lot of parents place in kids' hands from the time that they were born as a babysitter. So just so we're clear here, okay, you go ahead and take away their iPads and their iPhones if you really want to make a difference. And we have this foster care crisis in our state. We talked about it on the show, ad nauseum. Our kids' test scores are abysmal. But this is what we're worried about. Again, I'm all for, my opinion only, I'm all for keeping this stuff out of the hands of minors. But you better take their iPhones and you better take their iPad, because trust me, they're not going to the library to look at porn. They're sitting on their couch. All right? That's a Davitorial, by the way. All right. Gotta go. Thank you so much to Ryan Nicholson, Brian Wood, Jon Hoover, Dewayne Duncan, and Dale Cooper. We'll see you over at the Reds Caravan tonight. Again, we start at 5:30. We'll go live from there. Jeff Jenkins, myself, and others starting at 6 o'clock tonight over at the Coliseum Convention Center. Coming up on the show tomorrow, Dr. Casey Sachs from Bridge Valley will be stopping by, and Hannah Gardner with our Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association. Hoppy Kurtzville live at the Capitol from the AARP broadcast location coming up at 10:06. Follow the news of the day all day on the websites. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS W243DRFM Charleston and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.